Welcome to my third video for our GameMaker Asteroids project. And this might be our last video because I think we're going to get the game set up and going into an infinite gameplay loop where once we've defeated all the asteroids, the levels will keep on advancing, and then as they advance, we can insert more challenging events, essentially. So like we might repeat the same level, but we could maybe spawn twice as many asteroids on that level. All right, so let's get started and start adding the ability to basically detect when we win. And so we need to be able to count how many asteroids are left in the stage, because that's going to be kind of the cornerstone of this. So that's going to be something that we're going to want to handle. Well, actually, before we handle that, we should probably make 3 separate rooms. Oh, my cat has joined me for the final video. Hi, Cujo. All right, grab a seat there, Cujo. All right, so yeah, let's just make 3 more rooms real quick before we start doing all the code, because we're going to want these rooms to be able to transition to. So I'm going to make a total of 3 rooms. So the first way I'm going to make a new room is just from scratch. I recommend that we duplicate existing rooms, but you can make them from scratch reasonably well. So if we right-click the room and we create a new room, then it's going to create room 2. Now, GameMaker does prefer using the naming system of RM underscore whatever for your room, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to leave it called room 2 for now. And you can also see that when you mouse a little bit closer to a little bit next to the icon for the room, you can see this new thing pops open. And if you click on that, it will allow you to reorder your rooms. So the home room is the room that the game launches into. So you could have like a title screen or like a difficulty selector or something else as like the home room. But for our instances, we're just going to jump straight into room 1. And then this controls the order of the room. So if we have more rooms, we can control the order that the game considers the next level. Now, you can always tell it to transition to a specific room, but we're going to just transition to the next level for asteroids when we beat something. So when we create a new room, we just need to make sure that we set all the settings to be the same as our previous room. Otherwise, the screen size might change and that would look really weird. So if I go back to room 1 and I can see all the settings over here on the side, I need to create a new layer called damage text. And I also changed the size of my level. My level is 1600 by 900. So I'm going to do those 2 changes real quick. I didn't use viewports or any of that stuff, and I'm not using room physics. So we're going to go here and we're going to add a new instances layer. It was called, let's right click it, rename layer, damage underscore text. I don't think it likes spaces. And then also the size of the room, I can bring that back up by just single left clicking my room over here. Was, I believe, 1600 by 900. And then that creates a consistent transition between them. So I'm going to select a new background. And remember, way back when we inserted all those extra sprites. So let's pick a new background this time. Now this isn't really the correct aspect ratio for what I'm about to do. So it's going to look a little bit stretched. You might want to spend some time coming up with good looking backgrounds. Now the things that I need to add into here. So make sure you have the instances layer selected. We need a copy of the player, wherever you want the player to start. So maybe in the middle. And we need a copy of the game manager, which is a little question mark thingy. And that will make sure that there's a game manager in this level. And then after that, just any number of enemies that we want. For the sake of playtesting, I'm just going to put a single asteroid because that's going to make it easier for me to beat this level. And so with that said, I am going to prune this thing down to, again, make this very easy for us to beat. So notice I did not delete my game manager. You can always check what's in here by if you go to, if you click your instances layer, you should be able to see a player, a game manager, and any number of asteroids you want. So for the final room, I'm going to duplicate an existing room. So I'm going to right click on room 1 and go to duplicate, rename it to room 3. Make sure that it is appropriately the last one in the room order. And then double click it and maybe tweak it a little bit. So in this room, what I want to do is show you that you can modify the initial state of an asteroid. So over here on the side, when I selected this asteroid, I have a bunch of instance properties. And if you remember from programming, an instance is a instantiated copy of a class, meaning if I make changes here, it's not going to change the asteroid class as a whole. So I could make almost like a boss asteroid, and then tweak it like this, maybe tint it kind of purple, make it a little bit spooky looking. And then also all of the variables that we have on the asteroid big object can be replaced. So you can see that the max hit points is 40. Well, maybe I want this boss asteroid to have 3 times the initial hit points. Maybe I want it to be really slow. So I'm lowering those numbers. Maybe it'll be worth 1,000 points. And then I can even tweak it, and this might create some unintended behavior, but I could even swap out which asteroid it spawns. So instead of spawning small asteroids, I could tell it to spawn big asteroids. Gotta make sure this says big. So that this copy right here, this is just a different version of a big asteroid with different variables. Now, you really shouldn't do this to make a, quote, boss enemy, but it's good for modifying things like the waypoints or the patrol path of an enemy, or maybe giving your enemy a slight variation of hit points. Honestly, if you're going to make like a harder version of an enemy, like if you have the easy green one and like the red hard one, you should really just have 2 separate objects. But if it's a one-off where you just want to tweak some stuff, then you could probably just do it in here. Okay, so that's looking pretty good so far. But now we need to actually, transition these rooms. So that's going to be something we need to handle inside of the level manager or the game manager. So let's open that thing up. So what I want to add first is kind of near the current level text. That's kind of like on line 97 here. I want to add some text that tracks how many asteroids are left, so that I get an idea of how many, so the player knows how close they are to victory. So let's add that. So we'll call this current asteroid count. We're going to make a variable for this, var asteroid count. And that's going to be set equal to this command where I do instance underscore number. This returns how many instances of this object are in the world. And I can use the parent. So anything that's descended from the asteroid, sorry, Cujo. Anything that's descended in this asteroid will show up in this count, which includes small asteroids and big asteroids. Now, if you had any other enemies, you might want to just add them on here. Like if you had like a UFO type of enemy, you might need to add that to your count. But I don't. So if asteroid count is greater than 0, then we're going to put some text on the screen. So we're going to run draw text. and this will be at level X position. So we're using the one from up here. Level X position, comma, level underscore Y position, minus 30, so it's up a little bit higher. And then asteroids. So we'll change this to a string. My cats are, I think, hungry or something. Or they're just sad that this is our last video. I think he agreed with me. And then if there are 0 asteroids left, we're just going to put the text out there that says prepare for the next wave. So it's all the same positions. These are the same exact values, except for it's just going to say prepare for the next wave. So let's see if this works. So we hit play. And notice my count is now 2 because there's only 2 asteroids here. And every time I destroy an asteroid, that count is going down. And then when I kill this last one, it says prepare for the next wave. Well, we didn't write any code to transition us, so that's not going to be there. Okay, so that I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So what we want to do next is actually load the next level and detect when we are ready to load the next level. So I'm going to need a few instance variables on GameMaker. So with GameMaker, I'm going to, so basically when I kill the asteroids, I want to give the player like 2 seconds to maybe collect any power-ups that they dropped, any other things that may have happened, or give the player a chance just to mentally prepare for the next stage. So I'm going to create a variable here called level cleared. And it's going to be type Boolean, and it will start false. We have not cleared the level. And then we have another one here called timer. We could call this timer till next level if you want, or just timer. And I'm going to set this to 240. And given that GameMaker runs at 60 frames per second, this will be 4 seconds. So the player has 4 seconds of kind of just like downtime before the next stage loads. All right, so let's go and add another event. And I'm going to put this in the end step just to differentiate it from the begin step for the respawn. So inside of end step, we're going to have our check for victory and load next level. So we're going to do that same thing with asteroid count. Var asteroid count equals instance underscore number object asteroid parent. So we're going to get however many asteroids are left in the level. If we have not cleared the level and asteroid count is less than or equal to 0. Did I spell that right? Yeah. So if level cleared equals false. So if we have equals. If we have not cleared the level and all the asteroids are dead, then just flip the switch for level cleared equals true. What that's going to do is then begin that countdown on that timer so that when the timer runs out, we load the next level. So if the level is cleared, then we are going to start counting down. So if level cleared, timer minus. We're going to start counting down until we load the next level. And then once the timer is up, load the next level. And we can get a little bit fancy with this. So if timer is less than or equal to 0 and level cleared. So normally we would do room go to next. However, what's going to happen with that is whenever we clear the last level, we will crash because there's no next level. And then also we should probably increment this variable we use for counting levels. So let's play test this. So we'll hit play. And now what we should see happen is whenever we defeat all the asteroids, it's going to load the next level. But that's not necessarily what we're going to want, because in the case of the final level, so loaded me to here. So in the case of the final level, there is no next level. So we beat that, goes to this one that we had that special boss asteroid that has a ton of hit points for. That when you kill it, it makes big asteroids. I feel like I should make that a little bit easier for these playtests. And so now we're going to crash. Because there was no next level. So we can get a little bit creative here. So if we're still on the initial playthrough, and we can tell that by if global.level is less than or equal to 2, then that means there is a level to go to next. So then go to the next level. However, otherwise we could just randomly pick a level. And we can do that by saying room underscore go to, and then we could use that choose command, and the choose command allows us to randomly pick one of the 3 things. And so then this command will randomly pick room 1, room 2, or room 3. So then don't forget our increment level command here. And then this will work really well. Whenever we beat a level, it's going to take us to a new level. Although I feel like, let's implement a cheat key real quick. So if you want to be able to cheat at this, let's just go and put in, if you press the K key for kill all asteroids. And I believe you can just specify the parent, and it will delete all copies of the asteroids in the level. So then this will let us like play test a little bit quicker. So here's my level. I push K, all the asteroids are deleted. But I don't get any points for it though, because they didn't count as actually dying. So then it goes to our next level. Then we have that big boss asteroid. So after this one, we should be sent to a random level. So I hit K to kill all the asteroids. So I got sent to level 2 this time. Hit K. We should get another random level. Back to level 2, which is expected. You got 1 out of 3 chance of that happening. Wow, it really likes level 2. There we go. So you can see that it's picking a new random level each time. Now, if we wanted to make this more challenging, so this is all well and good, but the difficulty never increases. So every time we start doing random levels, it's just the same stuff over and over again. So what we could do is have some effects that trigger off of the level variable. So what we could do with that is jump over to the game manager, and then in the game manager, we could have it spawn more asteroids if we've reached a higher level. So we would want to handle that inside of another event here called room start. So it's under the other category. And we can call this level, well, more asteroids at higher levels. So if global dot level is greater than or equal to 4, so if we've already completed like one cycle of this, instance create layer random. So now we're going to create a new asteroid in a random position. So that does mean we probably should re-trigger the player's invulnerability. So room width, comma, random room height, comma layer, comma object asteroid big. So this here spawns a new asteroid, and then because it's a random position, we should make the player invulnerable. So if we spawn the asteroid like right on top of the player, we don't accidentally kill the player. So player instance. So we know for sure there is going to be a player at the start of a level. So we don't need to have any sort of protections against the player might not exist here. Like we know at the start of a level, there is a player on the map. And you can adjust the invulnerability timer. I set it to half of the max. I think the max is 180. So you could set that to 180 if you want. So now this will happen for whenever it's level 4 or higher. So you could get a little bit more creative with this. Maybe use like a loop so that it inserts more. You could even have another of this whenever we reach like level 7. So we've done 3 more random stages. We don't need to put another one here because this is still going to trigger on if it's level 7. So this just adds more conditions that's going to happen whenever we get to higher levels. So maybe we want to spawn another big asteroid or actually let's spawn 2 small asteroids. And then maybe give the player a little bit more vulnerability. And so you could keep on adding new things, or you could completely restructure this to be some kind of mathematical formula. So let's play test it, make sure that this works. So we hit play. I'm going to cheat through this so we kill those asteroids. Going to kill this asteroid. Oh, my laser was so powerful it just instantly died. Then we delete this, and now we're going to start seeing that extra big asteroid appearing in the map. So we got 2 this time. This was level 2. It used to only have 1 asteroid. So we're going to get 1 more big asteroid. Now we're going to get 2 small asteroids in addition to that other big asteroid. Then you can see like this was a really good one to demonstrate that. So 2 new small ones and 1 big one. And then it will just continue with that pattern until forever, really. So you'd want to probably spice up the difficulty, add a few more things. Maybe you can even experiment with using the room start to adjust the asteroid hit points so that the asteroids have more hit points based on level. And I may even throw together a few extra videos for a few other things to tweak about this project past what we have right now. You can see those asteroids here. So thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed building asteroids inside of GameMaker, and really expect to see more game projects where I walk us through making some kind of very classic and very simple games in GameMaker. So thank you, and maybe you'll see some more videos for this, but if not, I hope you had some fun making asteroids.